Hello, welcome to Connect with Adult Ed, the NMDELT podcast. I am your host, Nadia Cater, and today we are joined by my team, the New Mexico Distance Education Learning Technologies team, or as known as NMDELT or DELT. So this is a little different. Usually it's I'm interviewing people that are doing things that I don't really know about. I'm kind of the dummy, but in this weird situation, I'm the team leader, so I should know what everyone's doing. So this is interesting. And you guys can call me out when you're like, well, you're supposed to know that. Like, yeah, you're right. Being a bad leader right now. But we have the whole team here. Jamie is a part of the team, and Jamie has been joining me as my co-host, kind of. I guess we never use that term, but kind of what we're doing. Whatever. It's fine. Put that on your resume, Jamie.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, because that's going to boost you so much. Not all your other experience, but co-host of a local podcast on YouTube. That's going to take your career to the sky's the limit.
More than I could have ever dreamed. Yep.
Absolutely. Good. Thank you. So how's everyone doing today? Okay, so because it's a podcast, no one saw your thumbs up. But rest assured you on this recording, there's smiles, there's thumbs up. We are ready. We're good. We're recording on a Friday afternoon. So everyone just wants to leave really bad. And that's okay. We got this. We're ready. So please, I will ask you guys to introduce yourselves and why you chose to be on the New Mexico Distance Education Learning Technologies team.
Are we going in alphabetical order? Because if we are, I'm totally last, but I'm going first anyway.
How about reverse alphabetical order then at that point?
Yay! I'm Jennifer Wilhite Gravogel, but my academic name is still Wilhite, so we're kind of sticking with that for a minute. I joined because I was told that I could have unheard of fame and fortune by jumping on this team. And so far, the fame and fortune hasn't arrived, but I blame myself. Actually, the real reason is because I went to training from the back of the room, and I was so impressed with the ladies who ran it. And of course, I'm going to throw you under the bus, Nadia, Jamie, and Tina, that when I heard whispers from Mariah that, hey, they had an opening, at first I thought, no, they would shun me and I can't deal with such rejection. But they gave me a shot. And even though at the interview, I think my most popular answer was, I have no idea, but I'm willing to learn. They've given me a chance. And so far, I absolutely love it. And I've learned more about teaching, not just distance, but teaching with feet on the ground than I have in all the PDs of the past 22 years. So thank you.
Wow, that was really great. Please put that on Glassdoor. We are a great place to work. We will transform your teaching. Jennifer, don't you have like 20 years of teaching experience or something like that?
I've been teaching, Nadia, longer than you've been alive, and I wish that was hyperbole, but it's sorely understatement.
Well, then that's quite the accomplishment that you're saying. Like, this is a huge, wow. So you've been teaching for a whole human being, and yet being on the DELT team for the last few months has been like amazing. That is something.
It's transformative. It is a paradigm shift, and anyone who has not stepped into your trainings is not a good enough teacher yet. So I will put that on a glass door.
I mean, you do work for us. But
I also work for 4 other schools, so I know what I'm doing.
That's more schools than I've worked for. That's amazing. Yes. We're just so happy that you're here. Your energy is infectious. And thank you for that. Quite that introduction.
Thank you.
I will have to say, I'm not a lady. That's cool. I've never been called a lady my whole life until moving to New Mexico. I don't know. There's something going on. Jamie's laughing on mute. I've never been called a lady before. And then moving to New Mexico, it's every time I'm in a group, a professional group, because this field is like 80% women for some reason. But it's like, it's very interesting. It's cool. I'm not offended, but it's like, wow, this is a cultural difference I didn't realize I have to surpass.
I'm going to get you a name tag that says gorgeous creature.
And creature, even better. That's just, yeah, I'm more of a monster than a lady. Thank you. But Jamie's laughing on mute. I'm just going to keep saying this because it's infectious, but silent. So, and yeah, everyone's kind of smiling, but we're all being like Zoom polite. So we have our mics off. It's too bad we're missing some of this, but I rest assure you, I made some people laugh today. But thank you so much, Jennifer. And just please keep going. Group Jennifer.
I have permission. I'm documenting this. It's recorded. No one edit that out.
You guys are so funny. I'm glad. I'm again so glad you're here. So yeah, so please let's keep introducing ourselves. Who's next? Who's doing the reverse alphabetical order thing?
Looks like that's going to be me because I'm T. So how do you follow that? My gosh. Okay. My name is Jamie Trujillo, and I like the term co-host. I've been calling myself the producer of this podcast, and I'm still going to do that because I still like that title. I like being behind the scenes doing that stuff too. But I will totally take co-host, as well as, of course, being the executive director of NMEA. But the NMDELT team has been something that has been very special to me for a long time because I was one of the first members of NMDELT when it started in December of 2014. So we are coming up on 10 years that NMDELT has existed. And the whole reason why I wanted to get into NMDELT was to have that opportunity to train. It was the first time that I started formally training other educators. And I've never stopped since because I've never wanted to. I found that I just absolutely loved facilitating training. And I realize NMDELT is specifically for digital tools and digital instruction. And so it was really different because we're talking about a time period that was well before COVID, before it was necessary to kind of have those digital tools. So there were years where we had significant pushback of what we were trying to provide. And having that challenge was really great because of the group I was with. I was with a group of just outstanding educators, and that has not changed. That has not changed. This group is amazing. And so I'm just really excited to still be a part of that from its inception to now. NMDELT is the longest running professional learning project in New Mexico that I am aware of at all. So I can say without a doubt, it's just an outstanding team to be on. And I just love that.
Wow, thank you. So, okay, now following that, Emily and Mariah have to say incredible things now about how they feel about our practice and how incredible our team is.
No
This
pressure.
is now an expectation. It's expected from everybody.
I like how we just sit here looking at each other like, who's going to go next? But I don't know. I'll just start with myself, I guess. I'm Mariah Lira. It's kind of really hard. I'm like, y'all took all the good stuff. We're here with the leftovers. I started with the NMDELT team right after COVID hit. Everyone was transitioning online. And I remember Emily, I don't remember why Emily let me know that there was a position available. And she really just said it in passing. And she was like, I think you would be great on the DELT team too. And so I reached out, I think to Tina. It might have been to Jamie. I don't even remember how it happened. And I remember just sitting there for a couple of weeks like, well, I guess I'm on this team. I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing. And I remember the first meeting jumping in where I was like, oh yeah, no, I don't know what you guys are playing. You guys are playing chess. I don't know. I'm playing checkers. At this point, I think I'm playing like Chutes and Ladders. It was not even the same. And I was really, really concerned about what could I bring to the table. I didn't know. I was just this, young person jumping in and had no experience, like formal teaching, formal education. I had just been wrangled into adult education by the coordinator that was before me. And so I was like, nope, this is not going to work. I am not sure. And somehow I'm still here. That's all I have to say. Somehow I'm still here. And I really love it. I love being able to connect with different people and just share different tools, see what works, what doesn't. And I think one of the things that I love about this group specifically is we're always changing, we're always doing. We find out what works, we find out what doesn't, and we just go with the flow. And I absolutely love that.
Why don't you tell us what your role is, like outside of DELT?
Outside of DELT? So I'm also on the TSTM team. I seem to just put my hand wherever it falls. That is what happens. I'm like, we need help with this. Okay, then boop, my hand goes in. And that's really what I like doing with the Propel team is I want to be available wherever the need is. And then it's funny because afterwards I'm like, I'm so tired. I don't know what I'm doing. And then Do I stop? No, I say yes again, and my hand goes right back into the next pool. But it's just really fun. Outside of Delt, though, and outside of the Propel team, I am one of the instructional coordinators here at Clovis Community College, and I focus mainly on our ESL and HSE program, Spanish HSE, excuse me.
Excellent. Thank you. It is so good to have you. And really, I would say that you know more about what you're doing than I do. So don't limit yourself. You're good. Humble. That's the word. Don't humble yourself so much. You do a lot and you know what you're doing.
I feel like I'm chaos in a cup.
Chaos in a cup?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm in a mug,
Oh.
but I understand what you're saying.
Well, I can say for anybody that's seen Mariah in action, doing a training, it's really spectacular. So to think that you were new to all of that just in 2020 is very impressive. So kudos to you, Mariah.
It's Emily's turn. Go, Emily.
Hi, I'm Emily Gleekus. I work with Clovis Community College. I'm the director of the adult education program. And I started in adult education in 2016 as an instructional coordinator. And my predecessor, I don't know this for a fact, but I assume that she saw the year I graduated high school and she was like, oh, we need to update our digital literacy and our instructional technology. This person will work well. They're young. And so I was tasked with digitizing our program and introducing instructional technology into the program when I started as a coordinator. And NMDELT was instrumental in doing that. Jamie, I don't know if you remember through C3 how much you helped us learn Google Classroom, how much you helped me think through how to design systems of using Gmail, GChat, Google Classroom, Drive. Cash came out to our program and would do all-day intensives with our teachers to train them how to use Google Classroom. Tina would come down and help. And I got so much from NMDELT that when I saw the listing this last spring that you were looking for new consultants, I was like, awesome. That would be great. I would love to hang out with all these people. I like them. I love when they get to come to my program and spend time with me. So what if I could be part of their program and they'd have to spend even more time with me? And in addition, I get to talk a lot to other people, which is another one of my favorite things. And I also get to be on the cutting edge of what's coming out. And so not only is it an opportunity to train other people and share what we've learned here in our program, but it's also a situation that requires us to consistently be learning ourselves and be exploring new tools and new technologies and new ways to use those things. And I love the environment of continuous learning that we've developed. The NMDELT team is composed of instructors who are among the best of our adult education teachers, staff members who are really dedicated and regularly attend professional development, and of people who are committed to learning and bringing others along in that learning. And I think that's so powerful and makes being part of the NMDELT team just such a pleasure. Like, I can't believe y'all are paying us to do this.
Yes, everyone, we pay.
Yes,
That's
we
one
do.
of our
Give them ideas. Do not give them ideas.
Oh man, thank you all. That was really great introductions. And I kind of introduced myself already as obviously the host, and I'm kind of taking over. I don't know what term to use. Team leader, manager. I mean, I don't have a manager title, but I set the expectations for our projects. I set the vision. I jump in and ask you guys to support you when you need it. But I'm mostly hands off. So I don't know. I don't know what to call myself, but that's kind of what I do at NMDELT, is just kind of captain of the ship. But everyone's kind of, I don't know. I don't like that term either, because that just assumes that I'm the most important person, and I'm not at all. I think a calendar reminder could do what I do. So
Nadia, I think captain's perfectly appropriate, because if we sink, you stay with the ship.
yes, this is true. I will will go down with the ship while everyone else is on the raft. I'm kidding. Oh my goodness, you guys are fun. It's always fun to just get to talk to you guys, and in this new format too, as a podcast rather than a here's what we have to do at this time. I never sound like that. But yes, so we kind of, in different ways, we've talked about what is NMDELT? That's kind of our question here. And that's sort of what we're doing today too, is like, it's a really a reintroduction to the field of what is an NMDELT, who are our consultants and, coordinators, and what are we doing? So to you guys, just, specifically, what is NMDELT? What's its purpose in professional learning in the adult ed field?
Are we going in the same order?
It could be any order.
Oh, that's a lot of freedom, my friend. To me, NMDELT it's validation of what I do as an adult educator, because in so many areas of education, there are no professional developments because it's assumed that these are not professionals and they're not worth the trouble of anyone going to assist. And I think our instructors do some of the most important work in education, bar none. So I love it, and it continues to make me a better teacher, which makes me almost worthy of my students and my captain.
Oh, man. Maybe we should start having you last, because I feel like you're just such great answers and really, really inspiring. Like, I feel very, again, like I've mentioned this quite a few times to you, Jennifer, I believe, or I could have just thought it and not said it out loud, but your energy is very infectious. And I just really appreciate what you bring. I appreciate what all of you bring. But yeah, so thank you for that. What about you guys? What's same question? What is NMDELT? What is its purpose?
I think for me, the most powerful thing about NMDELT is that it is practitioner led. And so we use the tools that we are sharing with others, and we're not teaching from a place of not using them. And so we can empathize with struggles and challenges that come up with applying certain tools in certain scenarios. And we can also help troubleshoot issues that arise because we've had that experience doing those in our own classrooms and our own programs. And that for me is one of the most powerful things about NMDELT and the Propel team at large. There's not a single professional developer on our team who is not currently or wasn't for a long time a practitioner in an adult education program.
Thank you, Emily. Excellent. What about you guys, Jamie, Mariah? What does that mean to you?
I think NMDELT in general, I've been hearing this phrase, I don't know, all week long. It just seems to be something that comes up time and time again, is the mindset of, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I love that NMDELT kind of goes beyond that, where they say, well, it isn't broke, but could it be better? And what are the new things that we can bring in to make instruction easier or more effective? We don't just settle with, oh, well, this worked. Well, great. Well, that's what we're going to keep for 20 years. And then maybe the next generation will change it if those young whippersnappers will like just get on and do it. Like, no, we really have that mindset of, it's great what we're doing, but we always know that there's more. The world is changing, times are changing, especially digital literacy. Like, there is something new every day. I remember talking with Tina a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about the different things that were coming up with Google. And I said, I wish Google would stop just for like a minute so I can catch my breath and like catch up on what is happening. And she was like, well, no, because Google is always moving and it's always like changing. And because you have to move, you have to adapt, you have to keep going. And that's kind of, when she said that, I was like, yeah, that's what we do. Is NMDELT doesn't just sit here and say, okay, we got something perfected. Great. We always say, okay, we got it. Good. Let's make it better.
Just for clarification, Tina is Tina Height, who is now the Propel director. And she's also been in the adult ed field in New Mexico for over 30 years, as well as a strong proponent of professional development.
And she was also the director of NMDELT before Propel existed, when it was just NMDELT. And, I just want to piggyback on what Mariah was saying about just this constant improvement. And I think to add to that, there's this constant adaptation to the needs of the field. I can say that NMDELT is very responsive to what the needs are, which is why, and we'll talk about this later on, but it's why we've switched to, these micro learning videos. It's why we are giving the field the modalities that they said that they need at the time. And when that changes, we will change and adapt. We've always been about digital technology. We have always focused on that. And depending on the needs at the time, we will meet those. When COVID happened, we shut down on Friday. By Monday, the NMDELT team was providing webinars and support weekly office hours to the field because we knew that's what was needed. We did everything we could to give that support right away. And I'm really impressed that that has just always been the case and hopefully always will be the case. So that's what NMDELT is to me.
You guys are very inspiring. I do. I feel so motivated working with all of you, and having this opportunity to just talk to you in this way, in this format, is really refreshing and again, just like invigorating. So for me, I'm just going to answer because I am part of DELT. For me, NMDELT really is just kind of echoing what you guys have said, is really at that kind of forefront of figuring out like, what does the field need responding to that? And also like branching out and trying different things. And I really think that digital literacy for practitioners is just so invaluable, because that trickles down. Because when we give the instructors, we give the program admin that support and that opportunity to really practice their digital skills, and then they enhance their practice with it, that just goes down to the students and to other practitioners. Being a part of professional development is like really just, the field is pretty good. We're doing pretty well. There's been so much change in the air, in good ways, like really exciting things. But overall, just how can we keep growing? And I think that's kind of like what dealt me to like growing our digital skill set. And I'm just so happy to be a part of that. So this is actually, Jamie, I'm going to turn it to you because this is your section.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm going to actually back away from this question so that everybody else can answer it since I'm asking it. But what does a typical day look like as an NMDELT consultant?
That's a trick question. I'm going to go because no one else is talking. I've been social proofing, as there always someone has to jump in first. My typical day starts very, very early, and it's teaching, and then more teaching, and more teaching. And then over lunch, I work on NMDELT, Mental Health Monday, or emails, or whatever's needed. And I'm doing lunch while I'm eating and NMDELTing and probably grading papers and destroying children's GPAs and dreams. And in the evenings, I go teach adult ed, which is awesome. And at night, I go home and realize that although I'm exhausted to the bone and even coffee will not revive me, I did something that was worth doing.
I mean, I'm not a consultant. I was going to say I'm not a consultant. So again, this isn't my question, but I would argue that children don't have dreams, so you don't have to work.
It's like you've met my panhandle students.
Oh no. But yeah, you're not destroying dreams. You're just making them feel bad. And that's fine. That's not.
I would argue I destroy their dreams of mediocrity and demand that they become better than they expected they could be. They don't like that. They're uncomfortable. But when they leave, they realize I was right. And then they never come back and say thank you. But it's fine. It's fine. My adult ed students, however, always say thank you and frequently bring me coffee. I like them.
That's really cute. That's nice.
You can always count on adult ed students to be grateful. That's for sure. Who wants to go next, Emily or Mariah?
We were actually talking about this question right before the recording. So we have the same answer. So both of us work full-time jobs during the day, and NMDELT has kind of become like our back in school again. So most of our NMDELT work happens after 10 p.m. with as big of a cup of coffee as we can find and a blanket and maybe, an episode of Criminal Minds playing in the background. And it gives me a lot of grad school flashbacks, but it also is so invigorating because you get that opportunity to, for full context, I have an almost 1-year-old. So a lot of my NMDELT routine is determined by her bedtime routine. And so my work with NMDELT is that opportunity at the end of the day to sit down and really focus in on something about my job that isn't a task I need to catch up on, but is an area of growth that excites me, and an area that's, directly connected to instructors and efficiency and growth and being better, program improvement in general. And so it's really invigorating at the end of the day to have that time to sit down and work on something that isn't another report, another email that I have to send and get done. It's something meaningful that makes me feel more connected to the field.
I love that. Mariah, did you want to add anything?
No, I was just gonna say if I could like control C, copy paste, like that's exactly the same thing. With the exception, I don't have a 1-year-old. I just have a husband. That's all. But it's about the same energy.
The same thing, I'm sure. Right. I was just imagining Mariah's husband coming up to me during training or something, but like, so you compare me to a baby on a live podcast? I'm like, whoops. Yeah, not at all. So he's a very nice young man. This interview will continue on the next part of this episode. Thank you for listening to the NMDELT podcast. Connect with Adult Ed, the NMDELT podcast, is a project of the Propel Professional Learning System and is funded by the New Mexico Higher Education Department's Adult Education Division. Thank you for listening.